Alright, start from here. Alright, let's start from here.
Immediately start with a bug because speedrunning isn't about playing the game in the correct way, it's about playing as little of the game as possible. At least this is what I know. Can't complete a single run in like 40-50 hours of trying.
Oh, yes.
Eh? Enjoy the view. For the rest of the game we would be staring at a grey wall. This was intentional. I'm not sure if it was faster or slower, but it was intentional.
Sorry, ladies. Not the pretty flower you're looking for. Promise. If I run into a bear, I won't mention your cave.
So the way to do a glitch, you walk to a wall,
Just passing through.
move your hands a little to the side and then down behind her legs. Not like this because it doesn't work. Okay, so down behind her legs, grab something and watch her fly. Listen to the best character of this game, Chris.
Hey Alva, this is Chris. So, do you ever respond to voicemail? Photographers are breathing down my neck. I've been waiting for pictures forever. Can you at least confirm you've taken a few? It's hard enough for them to advertise your performance without any images. But if on top of that you're not giving any news, you know they'll start foaming at the mouth. Anyway, get back to me when you have a chance. I hope everything's okay, and my messages aren't making you angry. No need to deny it, I'm starting to know you. I'm just trying to do a decent job, is all.
Oh, you're gonna be so mad when you find out what I did to that camera.
Chris is the best character of this game, the best written character of this game. He would have an actual story. Relatively short, well, relatively just short, but somewhat tragic. He would slowly be losing his mind, trying to essentially talk to a brick wall, trying different words, not realizing that it's not about words, it's about people you work with. Okay, so when you stand on the ground, you don't lose any stamina. Please. When you stand on the ground, you don't lose any stamina until you move your feet. But I didn't move them. I didn't move them, so I don't lose any stamina and I can climb wherever I want. The moment I actually select my foot, which I didn't, I make them come out on their own by just moving my hands. The moment I actually select my foot, I would activate my stamina and I would have to start climbing normally because you can't compass very far without with normal stamina.
Right on.
Okay. Yeah, moving my hands a little to the side because they won't just move directly down. And they don't move directly up either, so I am doing these circle motions to get the maximum reach. Otherwise they just wouldn't move any far. Grabbing some edges if possible, because it looks like sometimes her hand can slide upwards, giving me even more reach. So need to do not exactly precise, but somewhat precise movements to get this reach, otherwise she just wouldn't. Okay, Chris.
Hey Arthur, guess who's back? I'm sure you miss me terribly. I know that you are the one doing all the work. I'm quite aware of that. But we're a team, and I do my part too. So don't forget about me, okay? Give me some news. Anything. I'm really not asking for much.
Chris is in his bargain stage. At least I think that what they were going for. It might be a bit lame to classify real people like this, but these stages work very well for fictional characters. Okay, so here I'm trying to stand up to just run a few meters instead of having to climb it. I'm moving with my right click instead of a left click. I don't know how it is on the controller. So basically instead of normal grab button, I'm using can selection button, which selects my previously selected limb. And because I'm only using my two hands to climb, it very conveniently just scrolls between them. But if I fail to move my hands very far, a game might think that I'm stuck and want to move my foot, which would be I don't want to select my foot. So if I fail to move my hands, get stuck somewhere, don't move my hands very far, I would switch to manual select to avoid selecting my foot accidentally. But when I moving smoothly, I would just rely on after select from can selection button. To climb up the ledge, you have to use normal grab button though. So it only triggers from normal grab button, usually. But sometimes I don't want to climb up the ledge, most of the times, because I would have to restart this bug. So sometimes it just would be grabbing with a right click. If you don't wanna stand up on the ledge, you can too. Just grab it with your cancel action button, you wouldn't stand up. Okay. I'm moving a little slower in the beginning because I want to tear my feet off the ground without actually selecting them. But usually when your feet slips, it gets auto selected. Way I am avoiding it is by making pauses between hand movements, so that when her foot slips, she doesn't have to select anything because I'm not moving. And then after it slipped, I select my hand. After a cutscene, you would have your feet on the wall again and have to climb normally. I'm near the ledge anyway, so it doesn't matter to me. But you can, after a cutscene, you don't lose stamina as well, so you can actually set up a glitch even after a cutscene. You would have only one try, but you can. I did it after the very first cutscene of the game. If you remember, you don't start on the ground, you start on the wall immediately.
A kid's room?
Um, please. Yeah. You also can start this glitch from piton, from rope, from rewind time. Either rewind time that is an assist option or rewind the time from Edelweiss. From quitting and losing the game. And from weird faults where you fall but get stuck and don't fall and stand up on the wall. Hard to explain, it would happen to you eventually. You would know it when it happened. If you rewind if you want to start a glitch from rewind, if you rewind to a place where you were glitching, you are campusing, she will place her feet on the wall automatically, and it would activate her stamina, so the glitch wouldn't work if you were already glitching. But if you are climbing normally and have both your feet on the wall and rewind to this place, then you can set up a glitch from there. What you can actually do after a rewind is place your feet, quit, and load the game, and then you can set up a glitch. But it's, I think quitting and loading is forbidden in most speedrun categories. Maybe it would be allowed for glitched because, well, otherwise it's very, very inconsistent. Would be great to have at least one backup option. Even if you fall and lose, even if after Edelweiss you lose all your buffs, like, better than restarting a game. Better than restarting a run. Please. Please. Okay. Falls are extremely common on if you do this campusing. Very common. Well, first of all, if you select your foot accidentally and have to start climbing normally, but you're climbing a wall that is impossible to climb normally, you would fall to your death. If you sometimes she reaches for a hold but doesn't grab it, and again you select your other hand and fall.
Good.
Sometimes she gets stuck on some weird collision and it tears her off the wall. A lot of accidental falls. Sometimes she just doesn't hold her with her hands, and like you have both your hands placed, select one of your hands and she falls. It usually happens when you climb with normal grab button. I think it has something to do with weight distribution. It's less likely to happen with cancel action button. Like falls are very common. I'm trying to make one run for the last like 50 hours or something like. It's almost impossible to complete a run.
Nice.
Okay. Тучка, я вовсе не медведь. Collecting honey because it's very conveniently placed already on a wall. I don't have to come down, I don't have to restart my glitch. Here is the rain. I noticed that the rain always happens around here, but it sometimes happens on a split rock. Sometimes it doesn't. Well, most of the time it doesn't, sometimes it happens. So maybe, but even if it happens on split rock, it happens here as well. So maybe there is some triggers for rain, and maybe with some safe loading you can avoid the rain. It doesn't affect my grip because, well, I'm not. I don't care about grip, but maybe rain slows down my movement. It looks like it slows down my movement a little. Oh, climbing a grey wall. Not very exciting, but it's still difficult, especially around these places where she starts catching some small stones that can tear her from the wall.
I've no grip.
It's interesting that she can't. Her hands never sleep. Almost never, like aside from very. Well, basically never. So when you have no grip, you would notice it by your foot slipping more often. Basically, it's applied to your hands, but you notice it with your feet. Like chalk applies to your hands, plaster applies to your hands, but it all like contributes to your feet sleeping actually. Finally, we got Chris. We got oh,
We're in deep shit, Alva. You're seriously screwing us. You know when the sponsors are mad, I get the brunt of it. Gonna need something real here. Any news. Your altitude. Your school color. I don't care. Just give me anything. Damn it.
sun shines brighter when Chris is around. We just need to hear his voice. He is, I think, in an anger stage. Oh, forgot to jump. Got a recovery animation. Not a big deal, like few seconds on. And I already lost a minute somewhere earlier.
Hey. Psst.
What are you doing?
Oh, sorry, I thought... I don't know. You meant to sing by yourself, is that it?
That's how it usually goes. Look, how long are you gonna follow me?
Follow you? Sorry, aren't we going to the same place?
Honestly, I didn't think anyone would be here.
Is that a good thing? No one being here?
Well, it's quieter.
Okay. I didn't mean to bother you.
Look, no offense. It's just old habits.
But like, did you always climb alone? Never had a partner? I mean, don't get me wrong. No judgment here. I'm on my own too. But that's what Cammy wants, not me. It's not impossible to find people willing to take on this kind.
Okay.
And not to get too deep
So
in my family
sketchy.
tree, but I have mountains in my bloodline. On my mother.
Do you ever shut up?
It prompts to click,
That was
to
mean.
press an E button,
Been
but it
trying to
actually
make
triggers
myself
from many
inconspicuous
buttons
so I
that
don't
grabs
disturb
the wall.
you. I already feel privileged just to watch you climb.
Yeah, look, it's nothing personal.
Okay, I'll stop bothering you, I promise. Do your thing. I'll find a route that's far away so you can concentrate.
Whatever works.
Okay.
Oh, fuck!
This is very difficult to do around these angles. Not very consistent. But I think it's the
Perfect.
only way to
Much
do
better.
it in one pitch, the section, without having to restart campusing, without climbing, because it goes right between two ledges. Ledge on my right, ledge on my left.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Here we need to reach further. Okay, didn't work.
Almost there.
Closest edge doesn't work, you have to reach to the further one. It's a
Is this
little
thing still safe?
tricky. Okay, game lags. Hope we don't crash before the thing.
Well, I hope you're still alive. Take care of yourself, Ava. It's important. Rock climbing is cool, but please don't put yourself in danger.
Chris in his depression stage. This would be the last time we will hear from him. And soon there will be our own depression stage of even more gray wall. Okay. I got stuck here. Got stuck again. Now I can move to the side. I'm trying to go below the Naomi call cutscene, which would happen soon. Because after this cutscene, yes, I can restart the glitch, but because there wouldn't be any good footholds, I would have much less control on when I turn my feet off the ground, and I would have only one shot to do it. If I don't have good footholds, I would feet could slip. And be selected or be immediately placed. Either of this would trigger stamina. I don't remember. I remember everything is alright. Okay, now we are out of bounds. But you would usually be fade to black and teleported, but it also for some reason triggers by moving your feet, which I don't do. The moment I select my foot, I would be... No, probably not select, but place. It's a little different. So the moment I place my foot, I would start fading to black and be teleported. Would fall much earlier than that. You can see walls are became grayer, but if you think it couldn't be worse than that, you haven't seen what I've seen. Okay, so now we are skipping basically Palace of Wind, Peril, Dome, this cutscene with a cat where you have to drink all your potions, skipping Needle, and most importantly, skipping Ice Peaks. It's almost impossible, if not impossible. Well, almost impossible, because you can always hide them, but it's very inconvenient to climb with to campus with ice picks. No matter how I tried, I couldn't just move ice picks up while campusing. You have to kind of reposition with your feet while climbing with ice picks. And I don't want to place my foot. Also with ice feet, I don't know how they called ice boots. Call them cats in Russian. I don't know how they're... Anyway, so they have a lot of grip on ice and on snow, and it's hard to tear them off the ground to start campusing to begin with, which is also very inconvenient. So being able to skip this cutscene and never acquire ice picks is very great. Climb in some air because textures are not synchronized with collision. Be careful around here, because textures are about to load. Well, you can see they are loaded, and when they load, actually it changes some collisions, and you can fall here. But I think I found some consistent paths where I don't fall while this happens. You can fall anywhere.
Can't see a thing.
You think she is joking? Лошадка. Okay, now we can see her. Okay, so here is a ledge. You can stand up on it and okay, need to be careful. You can stand up on this ledge and run toward to the right, and on this ledge you are still out of bounds and they still start fading to black, but on your right you wouldn't be. So I just didn't calculate the precise how I should run precisely, so I will just avoid it all together and just traverse, but I think running and setting up a campus again is a little bit faster than traversing. I just didn't figure out how to stand up there and how much could I run, how far should I start. On our right, well, we are still below the needle. Okay, about this water. Water is a big issue. Very big issue. I want to get to the next cutscene, which would be, well, not ice peaks, but to the Grandpa cutscene. because on cutscenes I refill my resources. I want to keep my 4 flasks to cook honey with them. I don't wanna bother refilling my flask. But it's very sketchy. I would be. Last time I did it, I was red when I barely made it to the shelter. And I still failed. I fell like 3 times already in the very last pitch. Well, not very last pitch, but well, close to the ending. Careful here. I'm a little bit more cautious about these places where two textures collide. Here is another ledge that you can stand up on, but you can also climb through it and hopefully don't get stuck and don't fall. I wonder why my fingers are not hurt yet. They usually get I usually get notifications that my fingers are hurt a little bit earlier. And the fingers hurt notification, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, trigger trigger out of bounds, trigger fade to black teleport. Sometimes it triggers fade to black teleport, so you have to be a little bit more careful about your fingers, so that on previous section where I was out of bounds, right now I'm in. When you are out of bounds, so that it doesn't trigger before you got where you wanted to. Okay, so I think I'm past Ice Peaks cutscene. Yeah, I'm right on the level of it. Water is running low, but I would have another red bar after I run out of it. And I still can fall and die. Okay, this is a very dangerous place. And it went smoothly. Even though I had to slow down a bit. The closer I'm to the closer I am to the finish. Or here is my hand heart notification. This notification I don't think triggers. Maybe it does. I don't know. I never got it out of bounds. Triggers when she does. She says like my hand is hurt. She shakes her arm, her hand. Like, okay. Don't know why sometimes she says something and sometimes it shows an indicator. It never both. Like when she says that her finger, she's all out of fingers. it doesn't show. Oh, and it notification is hidden again. I don't know how it works. No, please. Okay. Game just stopped working. I was afraid that it would be the end of my run. Okay, I'm so close. Maybe I should actually start. Well, I hope I just this would be my last try, but if it isn't, I would probably should take one skip of ultimate here. Okay, it actually runs very fast. I need to get to the sledge. Whoa, it actually runs very fast. Please. I didn't have to climb here. It sometimes just... Please move. I mean, I wouldn't lose the run, but I would have to make a wide arch to get to refill my water. Ladder, careful. Okay, I'll be in time. It's alright. Okay, this thing isn't... speedruns are not good for my heart. Especially since I get this far a lot of times and never... well, not a lot of times, like 4 times already was here. And never actually finished. You can see that I still don't have ice picks, and I have everything recharged. I think even fingers. I remember I wanted to drink all the ultimates. First for hunger and thirst meter. Second, because of an avalanche, maybe it would be a little bit easier to climb during avalanche. Because for the last push you have your all your stats cut in 3, and I would like to not pass out from hunger. Careful around here. And during avalanche I would have to climb normally because each avalanche would reset me, would put my feet on the wall, back on the wall. Though it appears that after an avalanche you also have your stamina deactivated. and you can start this glitch from an avalanche. But because avalanches are so frequent, it's just not worth it. Game wanted to scare you with avalanches, but actually avalanches help you. Well, besides this bullshit that
Wind's picking up.
they force you to free solo when you don't want it. Okay, so here are where avalanche start, yes? Okay.
Come on! I can't stay here.
I don't like this. I should have went a little bit to the left and I hurried to my right instead and had to press one rest. Wait a few seconds. Okay, yeah, during avalanche you can actually move. She screams, but it's everything is alright. Okay, so during avalanche you can actually move if you manually select your limbs. They don't select automatically, but they can be selected manually. And well, I somehow fell once near the very end when I tried to move during avalanche. So maybe I shouldn't do it. Shouldn't climb.
Watch out! Avalanche!
So here, yeah, I could have immediately went to the ending, but I already fell once here. Okay. I somewhat remember. Okay, so my one last drink prepare. Okay, and here is a very important thing. I don't know why it sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. So I have to walk. And it works. Sometimes it doesn't. I think it's if you do 2 jumps. Well, at least with me it happened. I think when I did 2 jumps, she starts falling after 2 steps. Just 2 steps, she falls and starts to recover. But here I can just do a fast walk without issues. It's just you either do it or don't. Sometimes you fall every 2 steps, sometimes you can fall every 2 steps always, like through the entire level, like no save loading helps you, no cutscenes help you, nothing. Just through this entire level. Sometimes you can walk like I do normally. I didn't even get these hallucinations that usually happens here. Haha. By the way, yeah, you can cancel recover animation with just grabbing a wall. I selected my foot, need to jump down. I also notice I keep my warm drinks with me. But actually, maybe it's not really needed because it appears that shield protects not just hunger, thirst, HP, but it also protects cold. Protects cold. Even though there is a buff that is dedicated to the protection of cold, Elf Shield just just better. Just does it, but as well. But I still, just in case, keep my warm drinks. If I, for some reason, was wrong. Don't need them yet. Okay, here I need to move sideways to avoid the sledge. Looks like wind slows me down a little. Okay, so here got stuck. Okay, heart starts beating faster. Don't like it. Don't remember the exact way here, but I think it's alright. I just need to get to the next ledge and then I would have... Okay, careful around here. Climb up.
One step at a time,
oh,
Alba.
Okay, one step. It's actually maybe not so good if I get this falling every step. No, for some reason. Okay, no, I didn't get it.
Come on, Climbot, wake up.
Okay.
I don't need this right now.
Oh, please concentrate, shut up.
You're back. You're back. Good.
On the next wall, I have like 3 falls already. I need to, or even more. I need to be very careful about it. Not because, well, because I'm doing this glitch, and for some reason this glitch is very dangerous on this wall. Fall a lot because of the angle. Like it's positively angled towards the don't know how it's called. Okay, selected my foot. Cancel. Okay, didn't select it. Okay, didn't select it either. And I'm lagging a bit. Don't know, like heart pumping out some adrenaline, but or what? Maybe it's not adrenaline, maybe it's something else. But like, it doesn't help. It makes my hand shake, which is exactly the opposite of what I want to do. Exactly the opposite of what I need right now. Fortunately, I well not practiced, but had some blueprint of what I need to do here. So I hope. Okay, I'll stop talking so that I can cut straight. I think it was the last. No. This one would be the last ledge, yes? Okay, no, it's not. Okay, then probably I'm past the last ledge, so I have to get back on the normal path so that I wouldn't have to reset campusing before the final push or before the final cutscene.
I'm almost there.
Okay, so here are... Okay, there are normal holes nearby, so I think I can continue the climb. Okay, I'll just stand up because I will be forced to anyway.
Just a few more meters.
Oh, please don't lag, please don't lag. Okay, I need there. Don't remember the exact path, but I think I'm moving fast enough. Okay, food hunger, but I think it wouldn't work. Yes, and cold, food hunger, cold. Don't have any holes. Okay, I didn't fall.
Peace?
I hate robot. It takes human jobs. Okay, let's go. You can set up campusing after there, but I think it's not needed. Maybe it would save like a few seconds, but I don't wanna fall accidentally here. Okay, everything to avoid falls, everything to avoid accidents. Would be very disappointing if I didn't record it, or if I ran out of memory. I tried to run around this cutscene, climb around the mountain. So first of all, it's very far, and second of all, for some reason, you just can't. It looks like that cutscene reaches you around the final pillar. Aye, please. Reaches you everywhere around this pillar. Final. Can just grab bites with my bare hands, and for some reason it's actually more convenient than doing it with ice picks. Whew. Okay, yes, I did it. I tried to skip this long walk in the end by climbing around and getting on the other side, but it final, I don't know how it's called, Shapka. Basically, it has like snow all around, like snow platform all around this final. How is it? Horn. So yeah, you can see this snow platform. It's very hard to go through it while no, to climb through it. And maybe not even that fast. I tried a few times, didn't work well, and got lazy about it. Okay. Well, at least I did it faster than glitchless, so at least you would see that this glitch actually saves some time, despite all mistakes I made. Ah! I don't have strength to scream. Spent like 50 hours. Probably. Oh, at least Steam shows that last time I watched at my Steam, it was 5:12, and before that, when I was starting to do this run, it was 5. It was for 20 hours, so Steam shows that I spent like 100 hours by this time, but maybe like some time was just game running without me playing it actually. Let's try to do the glitch. Try to do the thing. No, no. I can't have. Can't manually select. I'll try still, but okay, please. You can't? Why? Did I break my mouse? Why can't I click on it? Oh, I can. Oh, and please. It didn't work, yes? It didn't work. Okay. Yay! I did it. Well, unfortunately, I can't move with my hands because I don't have. I can't even select with my right clicks. I can only select with my left clicks. Okay. But at least I managed to release both my feet during my final cut. Oh, okay, it worked again. Now I understand what this final cutscene meant. Okay, I hope I am recording. Wanna say a huge thank you for Aziz, the guy who first discovered this glitch. He was wise. He had this glitch from common people like wise man he is, so I never discovered this. Never learned this glitch from him. I actually learned it from watching from Benny, who rediscovered it later and shown it on his project of Thanatos. So yes, thank you Aziz, thank you Benny, thank you Man in White Suit who carried the community of route setters while I was joining it. Respect to Evander, who currently holds record for glitchless. Though we had some disagreement about this glitch, like basically, we had this gimmick of keeping this glitch secret because it was too broken and spoiling the game for everyone. And I got in some argument about should we report should we report it to the devs, or should we? Is it fair to keep something a secret? I mean, yeah, in the start, like for speedruns, it's important to share knowledge, which is what I'm doing right now. But like it was a part of a gimmick of route setting community, which I was a part of before, and I probably wouldn't come back to speedrunning because it's too time consuming, like 100 hours to make one run. Okay, I'm recording. Would have been very bad if I wasn't. One last thing I want to show you. It would be after. Basically, because I'm using right click instead of left click, it has one other side effect, which is can selection button doesn't contribute to your path on the map. So my path on the map would look very, very differently. Well, not just isolated dots, but straight lines. Just several straight lines. It has a sad side effect of if I fall somewhere, I couldn't return and watch the place where I fall because I couldn't return and watch place where I fall because well, my line isn't there. Okay, so you can see like straight lines. If you fall somewhere while only doing right clicks, you can sometimes just do one left click or two to just make sure that your line is got to that point so that you can, you see, straight line. You can sometimes just occasionally do one left click so that when it's safe to do so that you can rewind and see the place where you fell and find a better path, analyze why you fell and where should you gone instead. Just straight line going directly through the mountain. Okay, so my game starts lagging. It wouldn't. My computer couldn't. Game would crash if I continue going up that line. But yeah, straight lines. Just from the last time I used my left click to make sure I got from the launched from the ground and to the place where I just climbed the ledge. Okay, so now it is lagging horribly. Okay, so goodbye.